So I'm doing a little bit of reaction news here. So I learned this morning that Netflix and WWE agreed to a 10-year, $5 billion rights contract for WWE Monday Night Raw to appear on Netflix, which is the first time that Netflix is jumping into this fully in this live, putting live stuff on streaming platforms. I had a real negative reaction to this on social media. I'm going to explain it to here now. So this is a 10-year, $5 billion contract, which is pretty much like, wh- which is pretty much which is pretty much what 500 million a year. I think what's gonna end up happening now is that if anyone that has Netflix, be aware your price is gonna your price for subscription is gonna rise. I know I've had one person disagree with me on this when I put it on social media, but it's going to happen because Netflix have raised prices like every few years. They've raised prices. And the fact that this is a big chunk of money, I expect them to fully raise prices because when you look at their quarterly reports, like revenue wise, I mean, it's not like that they make 20 billion in revenue a year. I mean, not a year, I'm sorry. It's not like they make 20 billion in a quarter in revenue. They don't make 20 billion a year in a quarter. So this is where it's gonna hit pretty hard. It's gonna hit pretty hard because when you look at their financials, they usually make about like 8 billion. I mean, last year they pretty much made like 8 billion a quarter, and then 2022 was like 7.8 billion. So if you're doing 8 billion a quarter and you're paying like and you're paying 500 million a year to have WWE like show Netflix, it's gonna hit pretty hard, and what's gonna happen is they're gonna end up raising again. So I actually canceled my Netflix. Actually, I canceled it like I think yesterday or 2 days ago because even though I had like the ad tier, which is like $7, but I know the only way that Netflix pays for this thing is if they pretty much they pretty much raise prices. And I'm getting sick and tired of that because to me, out of all the streaming platforms, the funny thing about Netflix is that Netflix is the one that even though I watch programs, I never rewatch programs on Netflix after watching them, which is really funny when you think about it. Like Netflix is really the only streaming platform that actually do that on. Like Amazon Prime Video, I'll rewatch stuff on Prime Video. I'll rewatch stuff on Max. I mean, it's just those platforms have like a different feel. Like you could just rewatch stuff. But Netflix, I don't have rewatch it. I want to rewatch stuff I already watch on Netflix. It's just is not me. It just is something like it doesn't have like that collection, that collection that influences you to rewatch. But boy, and Netflix are expensive. Like before the last price hike they did, like at the end of 2023 when they did the price hike, the price hike before m- made my Netflix bill like almost $17, and I did not have the high plan. I like the second tier, which they say is like 14.86 or $15 now. It's really like $2 more because you actually have to add sales tax to it and all that stuff. So it's actually more, not less. And now it's gonna be, and I suspect that we're gonna see after this deal, we're gonna see Netflix the maximum plan will probably be 23, $24. The regular plan, the second tier will probably reach like 18, $19. It's gonna get really bad. It's gonna get really bad. And this is why I've always said like HBO Max can tolerate this because Max, for anyone that doesn't know what Max is, it's the owner of Warner Bros. Discovery, and they can pretty much, they own a lot of stuff, so they don't really have to raise prices. But Netflix gonna raise prices. I'm gonna feel bad for those people that are still on Netflix.